Hi guys, how's it going? Yes, Ambassadors of Funk, Super Mario Compact Disco. There's a very 90s for you. Hey, welcome to the stream. We're doing not one, not two, but three games tonight because they're all like 30 minutes long. I don't. We may have to tack on a fourth game. I don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll find out. I guess I got everything. The Game Boy player is set up. I'm using a Game Boy Advance as my controller. The whole thing is let's you know let's welcome all the possible technical problems. Sorry, just adjusting a couple things. Anyway, you know what? Let me. We're we're gonna actually we want black and white. We want as original as possible here. Not quite, the pea soup color that the original Game Boy had, but this is close enough, I guess. This is you're getting the authentic experience tonight. I have, where others would use a modern emulation device to give you like an upscaled, nice and crispy looking picture. I'm here upscaling a Game Boy game to what, 480p, less than that because it doesn't take up the whole screen, and then upscaling that to 720. So I know this looks fantastic. I mean, if you're not watching it in full screen, and also, like, on a phone, and from far away and squinting, it probably looks pretty good. "4K or go home." Yeah, 4K Game Boy games. It's 2019, where are they? Game Boy games on Switch, Nintendo, let's do it. So yeah, how is everybody doing tonight? Got some very exciting action going on here. Doing just fine. Ate some chili. Sounds good. I haven't had chili in a while. Not like real chili, anyway. I had streaming nights are always a little hectic because I feel like I can't gauge how much time I need to allow myself to like set up and do everything. So I always end up inhaling my food on a stream night. But I just had pasta with clam sauce. I haven't had that in a while. Which is already more elaborate than most things I eat on a stream night, which is usually just I'll throw like macaroni and cheese in the microwave or like a ramen or something because I'm just like gotta inhale it and go. We used to have this chili cook-off. I mean, I guess it still goes on around here, but I haven't been in a long time. And we went like 2 or 3 years it happened, and it was so good. Like, I just loved going around and like tasting all the stuff, and it was like a nice, chill atmosphere. but they kind of started, like, they moved the location and were charging, like, way too much for entry, so I haven't done that in a long time, but I long for the chili cook-off experience again. Kevin, how you doing? I'll watch some Mayroland until I got a stream. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know you were also going tonight. I apologize. I gotta get into, like, an actual schedule. But if you're still going on when I'm done, which this may not be a terribly long stream, I'll give you a raid or something. But yeah, thanks for, you know, stopping by in the meantime. I appreciate that. I'm terrible about chili. I don't like tomato-based. No, me neither. And my dad always made it with, like, those slimy chunks of tomato, and I hate that. I like... Tomatoes are fine, but I don't like those, like, stewed, slimy, gross tomatoes. I always, like, had to pick them out. I like the ones that are just... And, like, you can have, like, maybe a paste or something. I don't really know. I'm not a chef by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, I like the ones that are more just like meat and beans. And sometimes you throw a couple interesting other things in there. I only ever had Mario Land 2 for whatever reason. Well, it's a better game, so you lucked out. I mean, this is definitely... This gets a lot more flack than I think it should. But I'm also very biased in that this was my first game ever. So I do hold a special place in my heart with it. I look at this as like Super Mario Brothers Light, and then Mario Land 2 was like Super Mario World Light. I've never been to anything Cookout Festival. I've wanted to, though. I would like... Thank you, Morrow. What the... Did you guys see that? Oh, if this game starts glitching up, that's gonna be... That'll be fun. The dangers of streaming on a 30-year-old cartridge. Which, by the way, you know, the Game Boy's 30th anniversary was this year. It released in Japan 30 years ago, back in April, but... Oh, shit. I want the pipe, so... But I think we just passed the American, or Western release date or something, but for some reason, Game Boy 30 is trending again tonight, so... I tried to, take a little advantage of hashtags there when I tweeted out about this, but it's now a corruption stream, yeah. Let me just tilt the cart. Yeah, not only do I give you this, like, crusty looking visual, we have a high probability of this game just, like, resetting itself. At least the next two games that we play are gonna be slightly newer by a couple years. I think both of them are from '92. Bye. Real hardware corruption, I know. Live and in real time on real hardware. Sorry, I gotta get better at, still, you know, looking over at my setup and also concentrating on the game. Which I don't think anybody is going to be disappointed if Mario Land gameplay is less than stellar, but you never know. Somebody's gonna come in like, get good, dude! Might have to get Windows 10 for work finally. I'm assuming there are still good guides out there like to get rid of the shit updates and intrusive features. I just upgraded. I just switched from Mac to Windows this year, which is how I'm even streaming right now. I haven't had a lot of issues so far with Windows. I mean, I'm not using it for much other than streaming and drawing. You know, I may have to use it for... Well, I'm going to use it for more things later on, like, you know, video editing, music, etc. I like it well enough. It's a lot better than... You know, obviously, I haven't used Windows since XP prior to this. And, but that, like, Windows was kind of a disaster back then. And that's why I switched to Mac. But I feel like now everything has kind of, like, leveled off, and it's like, I can't really afford to pay the extra money just because it's a Mac. And so far, you know, fingers crossed, this computer has been fine. It does what I need it to do, and that's all I ask for. Oops. Nico, what the fuck was that airwalking? I wonder how many people know about that. I feel like that's a really weird secret, but yes, if you're small Mario, I mean, you can... There's like just an invisible platform you can stand on. And if you're small, you can get in there, under where all those coins are. Which, you know, baffled me for a decent amount of time when I first played this game. Like, why are there coins down there if you can't get them? And I guess I just found it on accident. Anyway, the most important part of the game, when it becomes a shmup. This is, you know, obviously when I was young and I had like 3 Mario games, I didn't question that, you know, this one was different. It just was a Mario game. And I imagine, you know, this, well, I mean, it was like the same with Mario 2 and the same with Mario 64. You didn't question it. It was just another Mario game. But, you know, years later, now that I've learned the history behind all these games, it's like, this is very Gunpei Yokoi. This kind of, you know, adding the shooting stages. Reminds me a lot of, like, Kid Icarus. You know, where the entire final world was sideways shooting. I would have liked to done hard mode for this, but that's only accessible, like, you know, there's no saving in this game because saving? You want saving in 1989? Forget it. No, you play the game from the beginning, and if you have to go and turn it off, fuck you. But yeah, if you beat the game and then you return to the title screen and you get, like, New Game Plus, I would have liked to play that instead, but obviously I would have had to, like, play the game before I even went on stream, and then, you know. Well, at least you said Mario this time. Why so many UFOs? I assume because the final boss is an alien, Tatanga. Spoilers, sorry, I know. Okay. So, yeah, this was my first game ever. Coupled with a few other Game Boy games that my dad had, like Tetris and golf and tennis, but this was obviously the big one. And I have, like, as young as I was like 1 or 2. When I first started playing video games. And I have surprisingly, not terribly vivid, but pretty good specific memories of certain things. And I remember watching my dad play this particular level, and at one point he said, "I need more men," in referring to, like, lives, you know, back when people used to call lives men. Like, I need another guy. He said, "I need more men," and I thought he was talking about these dudes in the background here, because I was 2. But that's just one, like, really specific moment that sticks out in my memory. I've forgotten all the important stuff I learned over the years, but I remember that. We had a Game Boy when I was a bab, but I wasn't allowed to play it unless we were on a trip. I knew a lot. That was a surprisingly common thing for me to hear, but that's not something that I experienced myself. I had a couple of friends, I think, who were like, they were not allowed to play the Game Boy unless they were out, which is really weird to me. Like, why restrict it? Just because it's a portable system. It's not exclusive to, you know, being out of the home. I don't really know what that kind of thinking was, but yeah, I had a couple friends who I remember they used to say the same thing. I mean, I was not, you know, free to play anything I wanted whenever I wanted. I always had to ask, but, you know, Mom, can I play Nintendo? And it would only be for, like, I'd be, like, timed sometimes, like, only 30 minutes or whatever. The rule was removed when Pokemon came. Oh, sorry. See, that's, you know, chat reading. That was inexcusable. I can't blame that one on reading chat. Anyway, the rule was excused when... Okay. When Pokemon came out. That was, like, the big thing that when I started seeing Game Boys... Alright, fuck the coins, I guess. I started seeing Game Boys, like, a lot more when Pokemon came out. And I feel like I remember bringing it around a lot more as well when Pokemon came out. You know, like, original Red and Blue. Because And I never had a Game Boy Pocket either, like, when that started. I had, you know, the gray brick Game Boy that my dad had, and I still have it, and I used that up until I finally got a Game Boy Color in, like, 99. But, yeah, like, couldn't really bring it out that much because it didn't fit in, like, your pocket, so it wasn't really practical, despite being a portable system. Like, yeah, you could bring it on vacation and, like, keep it in a bag or whatever. But if you were just going out, you couldn't just slip it in your pocket, especially at the age of 8, and you're like 4 foot tall. Your pockets aren't going to be that big. But I don't know. Are we going to get back into cargo pant discussion? And because that does throw the whole thing a little out of whack, doesn't it? You could bring anything with you. As we learned, you can fit 10 DVD cases in one pocket. I had my big green brick and stuff to... Excuse me, I can't read. I had my big green brick until the Pokemon Game Boy Color with gold and silver. I never brought Game Boys and stuff to school until I was a senior in high school because I was afraid it would get stolen. I wasn't even, like, our schools disallowed it, like, video games, Game Boys and stuff, and I, like, remember asking... In elementary school, I remember asking my principal one time in, like, the hallway, just out of nowhere, like, is it alright if I bring my Game Boy to school? And he said no. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna... Cause, I mean, I was a timid kid when it came to that stuff, and, like, far be it from me to upset any adult in a position of power over me. So, but yeah, once like high school came around and like I stopped giving a shit about anything, I started I would bring my DS to school sometimes, and then like I got a Game Boy Micro and I brought that a lot, and I brought it. My friend John will. I don't know if he's here. I would love it if he was here for this, because he brings this up all the time. He still remembers it. I had a Game Boy Micro and a copy of the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2 that was like the Famicom Mini GBA port. So, you know, Lost Levels on the Game Boy Micro, and I had it in gym class, and we were doing archery. And you know, it was like, you shoot a couple arrows, and then, like, you wait in line behind, like, 5 people for them to shoot their arrows, and it's like, you know, whatever. I took my turn, shot my arrows, brought out my Game Boy Micro, played and beat the Lost Levels before it was my turn to shoot again. I have somebody who can back this up. So maybe we'll stream that sometime too. Lost Levels needs to be done, but not in 5 minutes. I missed a pipe, didn't I? I missed the best pipe in the game. Shit. And I missed the goal. The only time I got something stolen at school was my Blue Eyes White Dragon. I got a yo-yo stolen and it still haunts me. Also, unless you want to count my dad's Final Fantasy VII guide being borrowed and never returned. That shit used to happen a lot, like lending your stuff to friends and then never seeing it again. Also, I remember bringing like this Pokemon toy to school and losing it. This was like 3rd grade, I guess. I lost it on the, you know, the playground at recess and didn't realize it till like later. Like I put my hands in my pockets and I had that panic of it not being there. And like I legit started crying, and like we all went, like a bunch of the class like came out in the middle of class to like help me find it, and we couldn't find it. So I don't know whatever happened to that, RIP. It was like some KFC Pokemon toy. It was like a match thing. It wasn't even like a figure of a Pokemon, it was like a puzzle thing. The guide was trashed to fuck by our cat who chewed on it, but it was a treasure to me even though it had the bestiary misprint. I mean, little things like that can, you know, they have a lot of sentimental value. It doesn't matter if they're like this really great thing or if they're in good condition. It's just like the relationship you have with it. And I think that is kind of, you know, like with inanimate objects and stuff being sentimental, I think that's kind of like not looked down upon, but like, and I don't want to say mocked either, but it feels like almost taboo. Whoa, okay. Especially as you get older, to like really love a certain thing that is just an inanimate object. But I think if like something has meaning to you, then that's okay. That's what's most important. The KFC Pokemon plushes were super random. You got like Seal, Zubat, Dratini, and something else. Vulpix. I don't have the plushes, but I have a Ivysaur. Like a little plastic Ivysaur that shoots water. Because that, you know, Ivysaur, the water Pokemon. Can you teach Ivysaur Water Gun? I don't know, maybe. I had the whole set, but my mom made me get rid of them. That is, I could go into something, like, very upsetting to me, but I won't, about, you know, getting rid of stuff, especially when you're young. But maybe I'll save that for another time. We're already on the last world, by the way, and I've been streaming for half an hour, and about 10 minutes of that was just, you know, the starting screen and me battling. Like I said, these games we're doing tonight are short, and I picked them for that reason, so I could squeeze 3 games into a whole stream, but we may be squeezing 4 into a stream. I don't know what the 4th will be. No, Ivysaur cannot learn Water Gun. That's... well, this one knows it. My only current Pokemon plush is a Metagross. I might splurge and buy a Diglett at a store. I have like a... I'm looking over because they're all out. I have a Scraggy and a Froakie. I think that's about all I have in way of Pokemon plushes. I used to have a Pikachu, like original fat Pikachu plush, and he squeaked, and he was adorable, and I don't know what happened to him because I don't think I gave it away. I think it's just lost. And I'm really upset about that, because, you know, fat Pikachu. Oop. Die while you have the star. Excellent. It's weird how much I like... excuse me. It's weird how much like I understand the references in this game, like the hopping ghost and the idea about the bamboo story with the princess from the moon or somewhere or something. I can't remember the exact thing. I don't know about that. I know about like, yeah, these little like jumping zombie things like from some... I say I... wow. Twice. Get a star. Fall in the hole. Next level gaming right here. Yeah, I've seen like those Japanese folklore zombies in several things, and like obviously I didn't know what these were as a kid. But like when the internet came out, when it was released, I pre-ordered it. When I started getting on the internet, and like I didn't know what to fucking do with the internet when I first started using it, and I would just browse sites about Mario and video games and shit, and that's how I learned about like all this, you know, like Mario Land 2 has even more like very specific Japanese references, or like old Japanese folklore and stuff, which I'm very fascinated by, but never bothered to really learn that much about. It's Princess Kaguya from the moon. Thanks, Wikipedia. See, if Wikipedia was around at that time, learning this shit would have been a lot less hit or miss. You get the answer to anything in seconds now. Okami is all the folktales. I've been told to play that multiple times, so you know, maybe the Switch version I will get at some point and stream that. This is a little late to ask, how is the volume, by the way? Because once again, different stuff, I mean, I'm still using the GameCube and the Game Boy player from last stream, but, you know, different game and stuff, so. And I never know, you know, if I'm being loud enough. The Mega Load. I never know if I'm being loud enough, I never know if I'm enunciating enough. And, like, I'll listen to some of these streams back when I'm just, like, editing or whatever. And there's always, like, oh, I wish I said this differently, I wish I had thought to say this instead. Or, like, I don't sound good here, or I missed this chat message, which, you know, apologies if I do miss any chat messages. Not that, like, the chat isn't even, like, going at rocket speed, and I'm still, like... It's the anxiety of trying to play a game, talk, and, like, look over, which, don't get me wrong, I like this a lot, but... it's too much for my small brain to keep up with, and I'm no good multitask man. As evidenced by the as evidenced by that sentence, really. As evidenced by the fact that I got a star and fell down the hole in the exact same place twice, so. Yeah, I've been playing this game since I was 1. Falls down a fucking hole with a star. Twice. I'm gonna keep saying that, I guess. I'm not gonna let myself live that down. Ooh. There it is. The other mother lode. Fucking bank. I usually have more lives than this at this point, I'm just noticing. Volume's great. Apparently I'm really behind. Sean's also watching, even though we're literally in the same room. Well, thanks for the extra view count. I appreciate it. Yeah, by the way, I neglected to mention, we are on the verge of making affiliate. And we had a, you know, by my standards, great turnout last time. Really happy about that. I appreciate it. And Sean got me over that hump to the 50 followers. So now all we need is, like, if this stream does well enough, I guess I'll be an affiliate. I'll let you know after. I don't think I'm gonna know during the stream. I don't. But yeah, fingers crossed. If I can get enough people in here. But, you know, I never know how to do that, and I don't want to harp on it, because we go into this, like, every time, and it's, like, enough already, so. I'm happy to have, you know, who I have, and it's not like the streams have been dull by any means, so that's all I need. I just like to play video games and chill and talk. And then there was silence. I like these little... You can't tell. The official artwork for which I love the manual of this game as a kid, even though, like, you know, when you're 2 and 3 or whatever, all the names were, like, Japanese. Like, they weren't even, like, Goomba and Koopa Troopa and Bullet Bill. They were, like... And some of those were retconned later on, but anyway. I loved the manuals to games as a kid, and, again, another really specific memory. My parents used to usually read, like, a book to me at night before I went to bed. Like, me and my brother. And we had a lot of fucking books, and I love that. But, I remember one time asking my dad to read me the Mario Land manual. And I remember asking, like, the first page of the manual, before you even get to, like, you know, the game has a story in it, before you even get to that, the first page of the manual is just, like, copyright information and stuff, and, like, the Nintendo seal of quality. And I remember asking my dad, I can picture sitting here, I remember asking my dad to read me that page, and he was like, like, I know why now. He was like, you don't want to read that. And I was like, no, read it. And I'm sure I didn't understand a word of it. By the way, we beat the game. And it was Daisy for real this time. Which I liked, again, I consider this like Super Mario Bros. Light, and I like how a lot of it is similar, but different. So, like, instead of getting to the end of the castle and Toad saying, like, sorry, your princess is in another castle, they kind of they did a similar thing, but flipped it in that you see Daisy, but it's not actually Daisy, so. Hi, I'm Daisy. There was, like, a brief period of time where I really hated Daisy, but I fucking love Daisy. I gotta scroll on chat here, because, your stream gets good numbers, you'll be able to spam your own emotes soon. I gotta set up, have fun with the curve. Oh, yeah, thank you for coming, Kevin. I will try and follow up with you if you are still on when I'm done. What will your first emote be? I'm giving it some thought, but I don't know yet. Because we haven't had, like, any memes, I hate to call it that. We haven't had, like, anything meme-worthy yet. But, oh, hey, John, I was talking about you earlier. I hate Daisy. She has an eye in the back of her head. Yeah. If you played, Melee, you know about Daisy's third eye. John, I'm glad you're here. We were talking about the time in school, in gym class, where I played and beat the lost levels between archery turns. So now I can get confirmation that did indeed happen. The end. 45 minutes in and we're done already. So yeah, I'm not even gonna BRB, but I will, you know, get this off your screen so you're not looking at you're not looking at no signal here. Would you like to change game packs? Yes. Please change game packs now. I didn't change it yet. What are you doing? Always blowing your game packs, kids. If you didn't hear that sound growing up, I don't know what kind of childhood you had.